Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing another tag, and this is the first sentences tag that was started by One Book One Review, and I was very kindly tagged by Sue Morrow and Not Entirely Human TV. And basically the idea is you take a look at your bookshelves and you check out the first sentences of some books that you really like or that have really hooked you in and have made you want to read the rest of the book. So I've chosen 9 books, 7 of which I have actually read and 2 of which I haven't. And some of these are my all-time favourite first sentences. As soon as I saw this tag, I knew it was perfect for me because this is just a selection of some of the sentences that I love. But first sentences I think are really special in that they're either really long in explaining and setting up, or they're short, sharp and sweet and hook you in straight away. So here we go. My first one is from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I'm sure you're all familiar with it anyway, but here we go. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Now this is one of my favourite first sentences because I think you appreciate it more after you've read the book, because it's a really good. It's not only sets up basically what the whole book is about. The Jane Austen's wit and humour shines through in this sentence, but it also lets you in a bit of historical insight into the opinions of the time. So I love that first sentence. I think it's one of the best first sentences ever written. My next first sentence is from Immortal Beloved by Kate Tiernan. This is a recent read for me. And the first sentence is, "Last night my whole world came tumbling down." So, I think that's a wonderful setup. You think, how, where, what, how, why, what, where? It starts all those questions immediately. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is another one that's short and sweet. The circus arrives without warning. You're wondering, what circus arrives without warning? I want to know more about this circus. So yeah, I love that. Then I have Whiskey Beach by Nora Roberts. And here we go. Takes a long time to find the first page in this book. Here we go. Through the chilly curtain of sleep, in the intermittent wash of the great light on the jutting cliff to the south, the massive silhouette of Bluff House loomed over Whiskey Beach. I love that it's so atmospheric. I love that we know that it's going to be set by the sea. I just think it really displays the setting of where this is going to be taking place most of all, and I love that it's quite atmospheric, so I love that one. Then I have Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry, and it's, "My father is a control freak. I hate my stepmother. My brother is dead and my mother has, well, issues. How do you think I'm doing?" I love that it's showing Echo's sort of sarkiness come through. I love that it's opening on a question. I find that's a really effective way of opening a book. So that always makes me laugh. Even though this book covers some quite serious issues, I love that it can still be sort of light and funny way to open up the book. So there's that. And it also, with that one, made me think of myself in that I can be a bit sarky when people ask me a question like that, when they ask stupid questions. I feel like maybe I would respond the same way, so it immediately made that character relatable right from the get-go. Then, I have Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake. The grease-slicked hair is a dead giveaway, no pun intended. Again, another sort of witty opener, especially as, it's Kaz and he's a ghost hunter. So yeah. Then we have probably my favourite first sentence ever. As soon as I saw this tag, this is what I immediately sprung to mind. I knew I would be choosing this. This is my favourite first sentence ever. And it's from the The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and it's late in the winter of my 17th year. My mother decided I was depressed, presumably because I rarely left the house, spent quite a lot of time in bed, read the same book over and over, ate infrequently, and devoted quite a bit of my abundant free time to thinking about death. Now, this book is obviously quite sad, but that opener had me rolling on the floor in laughter. I've read that out to quite a few people, and they're like, "Why are you laughing? We don't, get it. It's not funny." But it is. It's so witty. It's so funny. Love that opener. It's brilliant. I love this sort of connection to Shakespeare with the late in the winter of my 17th year, instead of you know what I'm talking about. I love that so much. Then on to the two books that I haven't actually read yet, but the first sentences made me want to, and that's Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. And this is another one that's really simple, but is still really impactful, and this book begins with a plane crash. I mean, already you're thinking, a plane crash? Where does this plane go down? Why did it go down? Who's on the plane? It already raises a lot of questions, and there's that one. And the last book I chose is Slice of Cherry by Dita Reeves, and bear with me while I try to find the first page. Okay. Fancy only allowed 3 people in the world to get close to her: Daddy, who was on death row, Madda, who was working the graveyard shift, and Kit, who was dead to the world in bed next to hers. So already you're like, death row? Their dad's on death row. What did he do? You want to know more about Fancy and who they are, what they do. Yeah, really great first sentence. So those are only some of my favourite first sentences. I could have chosen way more, but I didn't want this video to be too long, and I wanted you guys to really get the full benefit of the few that I chose. My favourites being The Fault in Our Stars first sentence and Pride and Prejudice, but yeah, I could have chosen loads. So if you want to do this tag, please consider yourself tagged. I don't know who will have done it already by the time this goes up, but consider yourself tagged. And also, if you have a favourite first sentence, please feel free to leave it down below. I'd love to know some more of your guys' favourite first sentences, and how effective do you think first sentences are. And thanks so much for watching, guys, and happy reading.